Hi, I'm Tyler, and welcome to another episode of my Christian Music Week reviews. Each week I take 5 releases, albums, EPs, or singles, and after having listened to them all week, I come back here and I review them. I share what I think about them. So without further ado, let's get to this week's first release. Tribal's new album, Tribal Nights Atlanta. Tribal's new album, Tribal Nights Atlanta. Let's dive into it. So, as for what I think of the sound here, some good moments here, but the songs can definitely be a little long. As for instrumentally, how it sounds here, piano, organ, and drum. We have both choir and the main vocalist as well. And also, in addition to the music on this album, there's also a message at the end of the album called Not Better, Just Different, which is such a good message from Chandler Moore, and recommend you as you listen to the album, not just to listen to music, but be sure to stay for the message at the end because that part's pretty good. And as for the lyrics here, even though, like I said, the songs did go a little long, thankfully the lyrics here are pretty good. And as for the lyrics here, talks about God faithfully making dreams in the wilderness for us because of his love for us, which we need to reflect. He never fails us. Up next, Bethel Music's new album, Peace, Volume 2. Bethel Music's new album, Peace, Volume 2. The follow-up to their album Peace from a year and a half ago, which I also reviewed on this channel. Let's dive into it. So, brings along a few guests as well. In addition to the members of Bethel singing on this album, we also have guest appearances from Lauren Daigle, We the Kingdom, Pat Barrett, and Phil Wickham. Now let's dive into the album itself here. So, pretty good album here. Pretty good throughout. The only issue that I remotely took is that Dante Bowe's voice sounded a little different than I expected on Waymaker. But even that, even how he sings on Waymaker came to grow on me a little bit as I listened to the album more. So, pretty good album here. Stylistically, definitely a more worship feel. Instrumentally, what drives this is piano and acoustic guitar is what dominates here, but some violin as well. And as for the lyrics here, pretty good lyrics here too. Touches on a few different themes. Talks about when we're going through hard times, God fights our battles for us, even when we can't see it, and He is with us in the midst of the hard times, even when we can't see it. And also talks about how when we're in the dark, God still sees the light in us, and as long as we hold on and don't give up, He'll bring us out of it okay. And also talks about how God miraculously awoke us out of our spiritual graves. He turned our graves into gardens spiritually. Up next, Mosaic MSC's double single, Where Would I Be Without You? Mosaic MSC's new double single, Where Would I Be Without You? Let's dive into it. So, pretty good double single here. Stylistically, the first song, Matter, takes on kind of a soft alternative feel, while the second song, Rescue, takes kind of a soft pop worship type feel here, softer pop worship type feel here. And as for the lyrics here, love the lyrics on this double single. Talks about how we're lost and empty mattered without Jesus, and how though we reach the end of ourselves so many times, He is faithful to give grace to the point where we don't have to wonder what if He didn't give His grace, because He faithfully meets us with it so many times. And also talked about how our meaning begins with Jesus. Up next, Sara Grove's new album, What Makes It True. Sara Grove's new album, What Makes It True. Let's dive into it. So, pretty good album here. Stylistically, it's alternative at some points and folk at other points. And as for the lyrics here, definitely focuses on the theme of reconciliation here. She talks about her and this other person and how they have a war festering against each other inside their hearts, and she talks about how they need to lay down their guns in battle, so to speak, surrender their war against each other, and let each other inside, and reconcile with each other, which would lead to a new beginning in their relationship of loving each other as they are. Up next, our last release for today, Jimmy Clifton's debut album, Blue. So before I dive into my thoughts on Jimmy Clifton's debut album, Blue, let me just say this came across as a request from Jake. Thanks, Jake, for requesting it. Now let's dive into it. So, pretty good album here. Pretty good sound here. Jimmy does a pretty good job here. Stylistically, definitely having his acoustic guitar here. I mean, there are other instruments for sure, but at some points, but mostly it's having the acoustic guitar. And as for the lyrics here, he talks about his relationship with this girl that he loves named Savannah. And Jimmy talks about how he wants to love her like the sweetheart that she is, and how he believes God has placed them together. And then he also talks about their responses to each other when they're going through hard times. So when Jimmy's going through a hard time, he talks about how Savannah's smile that he sees Jesus in brightens him up. And Jimmy talks about how when Savannah's going through a hard time, Jimmy wants to hold her in his arms, love her fragile heart, and pray to God for her. Now, to be honest, and maybe this is because I'm not in a romantic relationship myself as I'm single, the lyrics may not have been my top, but, however, if I was in a relationship, maybe I would appreciate these lyrics a little bit more. And also, too, I do think these lyrics do a pretty good job at painting a picture of what Christian love in a relationship is supposed to look like. Well, that's it for this week. Come back next week for 5 more releases. If you like what you saw in this video, please subscribe. I put out videos every Friday at 9:30 a.m. Pacific Time. Also, let me know in the comments if you have any thoughts on today's releases or what I may have said about them. Also, in the comments, you can let me know if there's any awesome Christmas releases that came out, Christian Christmas releases that came out this year that you want to see on my channel this year when I start doing Christmas videos next week. So, just a little bit of an update as to what I have planned here. So, I know technically this is the last regular full video. However, Kanye West just put out a deluxe edition of Donda 2 days after all the other releases in this video released. So I could technically have put this in this video, but seems like I should definitely do all these releases, while on the other hand, there are more than enough releases for the after Christmas video, which I do on New Year's Eve. Every year I do a video of the 5 best Christian releases that come out during the Christmas season that aren't Christmas albums. And I review them. And by the way, you can request what you want to see after Christmas. What releases that come out during the Christmas season, but I'm not able to do because I'm doing Christmas music that you want to see after Christmas. You can let me know your requests for those starting right now, if you want to. And anyhow, back to Donda here. So I figured it would be best to kind of release my thoughts on Kanye West's deluxe edition of Donda, since there are 5 new tracks on there. As a in-between video. So that's going to be on Monday. And then Christmas videos for the next 5 Fridays, starting on Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. And then on New Year's Eve, we'll do 5 best releases, Christian releases to come out during the Christmas season. And then January 7th, of course, we'll head back into my normal 5 releases a week format that I start working on from after New Year's Eve. From New Year's Eve forward. Also, check out the playlist section for my Music Month and Streams playlist, available here on YouTube and also on Spotify this month, featuring artists like Raleigh Clemens, Big Daddy Weed, Aaron Schust, 10th Avenue North, and others. Also, happy Thanksgiving to everyone here. So, about Thanksgiving, one of the things that I really thought about being thankful for as I worked on the lyrics for a couple of the projects this week was how, though, this year has definitely had its challenges and maybe a couple things didn't go quite the way I hoped for. But as I worked on the lyrics to these songs, I was thankful for ultimately how God has made ways for me this year to stay active during this time of the pandemic. So that's ultimately what I'm thankful for this year. Well, I'll see you next week. I'll see you on Monday, for on the deluxe, and then next Friday for some Christmas music. Bye!